For me, life is about a fight to make the world a better place for my kids. Can I leave this place better than how I found it? And to me, a better than how I found it world is one where everybody has access to the best in the world of everything. And I think if we can invest in these technologies and build these technologies, we can have a world of abundance and then figure out what we want to do with our time.
We are here with Ashton Kutcher at Make Wakanda Real. Thank you for being here with us today.
I'm very excited to be here.
I'm glad you're excited. And also, we just got the news that the Bears won.
The Bears won, so it's a victory.
Yeah, it set the tone.
It's like on a Thursday night. It's like, we should only play on Thursdays because it's the only time we We beat Washington on Thursday, and then today we just beat Carolina. It's very good.
Yeah, you're good at seeing patterns.
This is the pattern. It's happening.
I love that. And I also love that I heard that your VC firm invested over $240 million into an AI fund.
We raised $263 million, and we're investing in AI foundation models.
Amazing. Can you give me some context on the motivation behind that? Why the investment into AI?
When I first started investing, it was like right when the mobile web revolution started to happen. And suddenly there was this explosion of applications that were popping off everywhere. But just before that, there was this kind of foundation that was set with the chipset manufacturers and then the cloud companies like Amazon and Microsoft, Google. And then on top of that, there was this war for the operating system. And the war was between Apple with iOS and Google with Android. And at the time, it was like BlackBerry, and I had like a Motorola two-way pager, like a Sidekick, and there was Nokia, and there were all these different operating systems. And then suddenly it became very clear that Apple and Android were going to be the leaders. And everybody started building these applications on top of it to solve for all kinds of problems. But they were solving for problems the way an algorithm solves for a problem. So like an algorithm can do one thing again and again and again and again very precisely. And when we think about that in the world, that's like unskilled labor. Like, can you move a block from here to here? From here to here, and you can do it again and again and again and again, and this is what algorithms do. That's when we first started investing. We invested in Uber and Airbnb and Spotify and Pinterest and this company and that company, and they all started to do very, very well. What we started to see in November of last year was the launch of ChatGPT, and when that happened, what we realized was that the commoditization of intelligence was happening. So anything that you had to go to school for. And we went, wait, who else is building this? And where's all the people that in the world that know how to build this? And so we went and found them and invested in those companies. And the next wave that we're about to see is the disruption of the skilled labor market. So doctors, lawyers, nutritionalists, educators, all across the world. And so historically, if you had a business model where you needed 10,000 doctors or 10,000 lawyers to work at your company, it wasn't affordable for everybody.
Yeah.
Now, what's going to happen is you'll have one doctor with 10,000 agents working, AI agents working under it. And now, for $10 a month, everybody in the world can have the best doctor in the world, the best lawyer in the world, the best nutritionalist in the world, the best educator in the world. And we saw this, it started to happen when we saw ChatGPT get launched, and we went, oh my gosh, the moment is here where this can start to become a reality. And so we quickly raised an investment fund specifically for this purpose. And now we're in the process of building out a fund that is for investing in each one of those applications across the layers so that we can help build the entire stack so that everybody can have access to the best of everything all the time.
So it's about accessibility. It's about humanity.
When I came up, we had like enough to pay the bills, right? Like I had a different color lunch ticket than the other kids, right? Like I stood in line to get cheese from the church. And I went, wait, these guys get the best of this and that and the other thing. And like, I didn't do anything that made it so as that I shouldn't get that. But that's the situation I'm in. And for me, life is about a fight to make the world a better place for my kids, for the next generation? Like, can I leave this place better than how I found it? And to me, a better than how I found it world is one where everybody has access to the best in the world of everything. And I think if we can invest in these technologies and build these technologies, which are becoming easier and easier to build, we can have a world of abundance and then figure out what we want to do with our time.
Yeah. What space do you see AI being the most beneficial in? I know you mentioned like doctors, but what would you be most excited to see, you know, be able to impact people and be accessible to everyone?
I think like health is like number one, right?
Yeah.
Like if I think about like, you know, anytime you sit and you raise a toast for anything, health is number one. And there are a lot of functions of that, right? There's like the research side of health and like solving for cancer and solving for Alzheimer's and solving for diabetes and solving for like, there's all of those functions. And then on the other side of it, I think about like all the various things can just be in abundance, like electricity. Like if we can use AI to help solve for like fusion, we now have abundant electricity.
Yeah.
Well, how does that change the world when electricity is just something everybody has? How does like when we take these limited resources and we make them abundant, something we're not fighting over things that like a lot of the things we've been fighting over for years and years and years become things that we don't have to fight over anymore because they're just there.
Yep.
And when you really think about what's happening right now, it's like going back to like farming before the tractor existed. Before the tractor existed, you had an acre of land and you could produce this amount of food with an acre of land as a farmer. And then the tractor came along and suddenly we have enough food to feed the world, right? Because the output per hectare or per acre of land is extraordinary.
Yeah.
For the first time in human history, doctors, lawyers, educators, nutritionists, architects, artists, we have tractors. It's the first time in history we have tractors. Let's get on the tractor and ride. Like that's the way I look at it. And I go, we can produce so much more and have such a better lives for the next generation or even this generation if we get really proactive.
With where AI is right now, I think you have such a beautiful vision for how it can really change communities and the world and how we all interact with one another. When I'm thinking about AI right here, right now, I think about how it just makes life more efficient, easier. I think about people who don't have access to lawyers and who may need a contract reviewed or need help solving a legal situation. And when I talk to people about AI, I do find that some people have resistance, but I found that it might be just due to them not knowing how it works and it being scary. How would you address that as AI continues to progress and getting people on board with this vision?
Look, I think there's a lot of fear around it. In some regards, there should be, right? But if we think about doctors and lawyers and these people never having a tractor before, well, there's a whole sort of class of individuals that want to harm people that they just got a tractor too.
Yeah.
And that's dangerous. And that is a problem. And it has to be regulated, it has to be mitigated, it has to be really, really thoughtfully adhered to so that we don't end up the same medical experts that can go and create a cure for whatever disease. Somebody can use that same AI to create a biological weapon and literally unleash something that's 10 times worse than COVID and kills 100 times more people. They can manufacture that using AI.
Yeah.
That's a dangerous thing. I think we have to be really thoughtful about how we approach it and really thoughtful about how we build these things so we don't cause some crazy mass extinction event.
Yeah.
But look, it's not unlike anything else. Like it's a tool. Like you can use a hammer to build a house. You can also use a hammer to mess someone up.
Yeah.
This is a really powerful tool and we need to be really thoughtful about how we're using it. And I think that there needs to be like an agency. We can't all just go send rockets into space.
Yeah.
Right? You have to go through an agency to send a rocket into space. At a certain size and a certain scale, these things should have to pass through an agency before they can be used and deployed to the public. And that agency needs to ensure the safety of those entities. And I think that that's going to get built. And I think the world will be better when that gets built. And hopefully we can entice really smart people to be a part of that regulatory body.
Yeah, 1,000%. How do you use AI on a day-to-day right now where it helps you and it just makes life easier for you?
I mean, I'm using it all day, every day. I use it a lot for my work where I'm like, I'll use it, have an AI that takes notes. And then I have another AI that ingests those notes and puts them into databases.
Okay.
So that then when I need to query or pull some information about a company or an entity or something I'm looking at, I can do that. I use it to draft a lot of my emails. I use it to do a lot of creative things. I actually took an entire screenplay that I wrote and I put it in. And then I was like, well, what if I change this character's job to mall security? And then I said, what are all the points in the script that it would need to change it? And he went, here. I went, oh, okay, great. And I went and changed it here. Like, it was great. And so I use it to create and build things. And then I use it like for simple things like, I'm always curious, like how or why someone thinks what they think that is antithetical to what I think. Like there are like big world events that are happening and I have a perspective or a point of view on it. And I want to understand how can it seems so crazy what other people are thinking, but there's so many other people that are thinking that clearly they have some rationale for it. And I can use the AI to get another opinion about something. And I kind of use it as like my thought partner on understanding other people's perspective. I also use it as a thought partner when I'm thinking around like creatively how I'm gonna build something. Like the other day, there was an idea I had for a way to change a investment fund into a holding company and then transition that into another entity. But I didn't know, I've never gone to school for finance. Like I don't know about this stuff. And so I just went in and I was like, well, how would I do this if I were going to do that? And then it laid out a path to like how to go ahead. So I just use it as a thought partner in order to make myself more productive.
Do you ever use the feature in ChatGPT where it can like speak back to you? Wait, well, hold on. I have a whole AI therapist. You don't understand. Have you played around with Pi? No.
Oh.
Give me hit. Give me
come
hit.
on.
Give me hit.
Hold on. You have to see this. This is amazing.
Give me hit.
So this is another AI, but it's called Pi.
Okay.
Oh my God, my phone, of course I don't have service, so I'm not gonna be able to show you.
We gotta get him on Wi-Fi.
Pi is like my therapist.
Okay.
So here, I can just vent to it and I have full conversations with it.
So
I get in the car and I just put it connects to the Bluetooth of the car. And I just start to have a conversation with the AI as I drive. And I'll talk things out. Like I'll be like, I was going to see my mom and there was something I needed to talk to her about. And I was like, oh man, I got to talk to moms about this thing and it's going to be a thing. I know it's going to be a thing and I know this and I'm like talking to it and it's like, well, approach it with compassion. Like here's some things that I'm like, well, what are some things that I can say to start this conversation? So that brainstorm ideas, I can brainstorm ideas with a partner. I just need a safe space to talk. Relationship advice, practice for big conversations, like thinking of a gift to give.
Feel calm.
All of it, like, and you can just have conversations with the AI around all these things. You just pick whatever topic you want to talk about. This
is crazy because this is like an emotional support. AI.
Yes.
That's crazy.
It's unbelievable. It's really good, and it works.
That's crazy.
It works, and it's always there. It's like it's not too busy today to meet with me.
See, I love this too because this is about accessibility. Like, what if you can't afford therapy and like you need help and like...
You know how much this cost me?
How much?
Nothing.
Oh, it's free?
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Like, this is what I'm saying. That's crazy.
That's what I'm talking about. It's there. Yeah, and by the way, the other thing is now that you can make your own GPTs.
Okay, I was gonna ask you if you was hip to that.
Let's go.
Wild.
What are we gonna do? Like, what? You have a data set. I have a data set. We all have data sets. You got your contact book. Your contact book is a whole data set. You probably have 6,000 people in your contact book. What are you doing with that? Tomorrow, when you have an idea or a thing you want to build or a thing you want, like, who are the 3 people you should talk to? You can use the AI to determine who the 3 people you should talk to are.
Yep.
It's not like you plan your trip, like do your thing, like all of it.
Have you built out a GPT yet?
That's what I'm doing this weekend.
That's what I'm doing this weekend.
I'm very excited.
That's what I'm doing this weekend too.
Let's go do it.
I love that. Thank you for talking with me.
Yeah,
this is great.
Thank you.
Wow, we're twins. Just said that at the same time.
Jinx.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming on. Say bye to the camera.
Bye, camera.
Wonderful.